Hello and welcome to another episode of UCRD Reviews. So this one's going to be focusing on the MS-06K Zaku cannon, and it's a version anime as well as an exclusive figure that came out in 2017. I decided to have my first review of the new year be an older figure instead of a newer one, simply because I didn't want to wait till late January, early February to review the January releases, because everything gets released at the end of the month. So I decided to do the Zaku cannon this time. So the Zaku cannon didn't really have any figure history. This is actually the first time we've got a Zaku cannon figure. Back in the MSIA days, we actually, the American market as well as the Asian market, got a Zaku 2 set that came with a Magella attack tank and a DOP fighter and a bunch of other stuff. And that set actually came with the backpack for a Zaku cannon that you could attach to your MS-06 Zaku 2, but we didn't get an actual Zaku cannon. So this time we've got a proper figure of it. The Zaku cannon first appeared in Mobile Suit Variations, and it was kind of a concept art piece for a while. It later appeared, I think it was a year or two later, it was in Zeta Gundam. It was actually an Earth Federation suit instead of a Xeon suit, and it was on board Shirako's Jupitrus. Later on, years and years later, it appeared in 8th MS Team, and it was a completely different design from this. It looked quite a bit different, and it was only in the show briefly. On the Zeta Gundam one, they were like blue and purple. They were not these colors. Then more recently, it appeared in Gundam Unicorn, and it looked a lot more like this than the other two shows. And it's been in various mangas, and it was a Missing Link, the video game, and it might have been in Gundam Build Fighters or Build Divers, one of those. I think pretty much everything's in those shows. And so I was really excited to see that it got released. It's an older release, so it was kind of hard to track down, but I finally got one. So let's take a look and see what's in here. So here's the Zaku cannon type. So the Zaku cannon is actually based on the Zaku 2, given that it's MS-06K. Even though it looks like a Zaku 1 type, it is a Zaku 2 variant. It was made at the California base, and I believe they only made 9 of them. They ended up popping up in other parts of the world, but those original 9 were the main ones, and somehow one, I guess, survived and went all the way to UC 0096, which is kind of amazing. But it's, as a figure, it looks really nice. It's got good articulation. The shield moves out quite a bit. Head goes up. You do have to be careful of this really pointy, fragile antenna. This can be removed, and you can move the mono eye. Can't really move it much more than that. So the Zaku cannon, one of its claims to fame is that it has a full 360-degree head, or mono eye, but you can't quite recreate that, which is okay, because it probably wouldn't look very good all the way over here. Torso articulation is really good. This can move around. Leg articulation's nice. So it has some hard points on it. Hard points here, and then this is for a Zaku Bazooka storage. There we go. So we have to put some stuff here on the backpack. So let's go ahead and do that. So it does come with the cannon. So this is a 180mm cannon. So The reason they only made 9 of these is because it really wasn't stable enough to fire something like this off of its shoulder. And that's why they stopped production soon after. So the cannon just pops right in there. You do have this little thing here. So this is like a signal flare smoke launcher. I believe it's a 2-tube smoke launcher. And it actually slides into here. You put the flat side right in there, and it just slides right in like that. And then I think we've got one more piece. So technically a part of it is these 2-tube rocket launchers that go on its back. I believe they're also called big guns, which is a really nice creative term for it. And those just snap on there, and then they can be down like this if they're not in use, or they can kind of fold over where the hands are otherwise. So it looks really good. The articulation is about the same as the regular Zaku. The shield doesn't really hinder the arm articulation hardly at all. And it looks nice. So, you know, we've covered these accessories here. These big guns are compatible with the missile effects from the Zaku 2 and the Zaku 2 wetland type. But it looks like a good figure, so let's check out what it comes with. So first things first, here we have the hand holder that comes with just about all the version animes. We do have some posing hands. These, I believe, are gun hands right here with the trigger finger out. You have some more dynamic posing hands here. And finally, you have kind of like heat hawk hands, I suppose. Something along those lines. You also get an alternate headpiece. So this is the, I think they call it the rabbit ear type. So there's a pilot, a Xeon pilot named Ian Graydon, and he was the, I guess, the commander of the original 9 Zaku cannons, and his particular unit had this head on it instead of the antenna type. Now, from what I understand, there's a line art that's the Zaku cannon with these antennas, but apparently the rabbit ear type was just his, and his Zaku cannon was a green color. But you do get this sheet here, which is various emblems and stickers and whatnot, that includes some of his squadron markings as well. So you do get that. You get replacements for the rabbit ears here. You get 2 of these little teeny tiny pieces, and then you have the replacement for the standard antenna that I just threw. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the only thing that's left here, which is the Zaku machine gun. One thing that's really cool about this is they didn't just give us another regular Zaku machine gun. This is actually a new sculpt. You can see the magazine's kind of offset. It's like more of a late war ground type Zaku machine gun. So I actually have the other one here, so you can kind of see the difference. So it actually has different handle, different front swiveling handle. The stock is actually a little bit different. Obviously the magazine placement's different. I mean, the whole thing's, looks like even the barrel's different. It's a completely new sculpt. So it's pretty cool. Pretty neat that we got this. And it actually doesn't come with any other weapons though. So the Zaku cannon also has a Zaku bazooka that it uses, as well as a heat hawk. We didn't get either of those in this set, nor did we get any effect parts. You know, one bad habit that Bandai has is that they release these really expensive exclusives and they don't give us any sort of effect parts that kind of make this a version anime figure. You know, why am I paying, you know, $70, $80 for this figure when I don't even get effect parts that, you know, are included in regular release figures? So I don't really understand the mentality behind that, but you don't get any of those. You do, again, you have the bazooka storage here, but no bazooka. So if I had a complaint, it would be kind of a lack of accessories with this one. I think there was more that they could have done there. The sculpt is great, the figure's fine. They just needed some more accessories. So one little thing I wanted to do here was kind of show the difference between the Zaku cannon and the Zaku 2. The cannon type is a completely different sculpt. I don't think anything is the same except for maybe the hands. You can see with both of them here, you know, the chest, probably can't see the chest too well because of this. The chest on the Zaku is just completely different, where the cables connect, the vents here. The head is obviously extremely different. The shoulder armor, the shield, the legs are very different. The Zaku cannon has these vents down here, and then on the back has thrusters down here. The rear skirt armor is different. The thighs and the cables are different. Even the feet. There's some dust on your feet. Even the feet are different. And the backpack's completely different. So it's a brand new figure. This wasn't a repaint or a resculpt in any way, which is pretty neat. They didn't skimp out on any of that. So that's about it for the Zaku cannon. It's a really solid release that is unfortunately plagued by two issues. You know, severe lack of effect parts, given that it's a version anime figure, as well as the omission of two weapons. What it does come with is really good stuff. I mean, you know, obviously all the parts that are currently on it right now, the cannon and the two-tube launchers and whatnot, they look really well done. They operate correctly, and it fits with the figure. They didn't skimp out on anything. The Zaku machine gun it comes with, you know, it's not just a rehashed Zaku machine gun. It's, you know, they did it right and made it a completely new sculpt. It's just like the old one where the magazine can be removed and attached to hard points on the Zaku and everything. But it's done correctly, and it works out. I mean, if you're like me and you can live with the things that it doesn't come with, then this is absolutely worth it. I mean, it's a really neat looking figure, but otherwise, if you're kind of on the fence about it and you're finding it for, you know, over $80, I probably wouldn't go for it, because there's just not a whole lot to it. You do get a unique figure, and it looks really, really nice. It can be displayed in multiple ways, but, you know, at the end of the day, you have to kind of figure out if it's going to be worth it to you. I'm a big fan of the Zaku cannon design. This is, you know, its debut figure, and they did it well. They didn't do it perfect, but they did it well. So I'm pretty happy with it. So I will see everybody next time. I think the next thing coming out is the Black TriStars High Mobility Zaku 2 and the S Gundam Booster type. So I'm really looking forward to those. Those will probably be reviewed early February. And unless I go and buy something like I did this time. So I will see y'all next time. Thank you for watching.